ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا
Hello and good evening everyone. Today is Wednesday, February 19, 2025. I'm Suleiman Talash and you're watching RTA News. Sheikh Nida Muhammad Nadeem, the Minister of Higher Education, met with Tariq Ali Bakhith, the Special Representative of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation for Afghanistan. In this meeting, Mr. Bakhith pledged cooperation with the Ministry of Higher Education in the economic, scientific, and educational fields and said that the strengthening of security has laid a good foundation for Afghanistan's development. Also, Mr. Nadeem, referring to the achievements of the education system, said that the gap between religious and modern education has been bridged after the rule of the Islamic Emirate. The Islamic Emirate considers the reports of the United Nations Assistance Mission in Afghanistan, or UNAMA, for the past year to be baseless and nonsense. Mullah Hamdullah Fitrat, deputy spokesperson for the Islamic Emirate, says that last year UNAMA focused more on distorting the realities of Afghanistan, presenting a false image of Afghanistan to the world and giving small incidents the appearance of major events. It's plain that the members of the United Nations Security Council will convene a meeting on the mission of UNAMA, which will end on March 17. We have more in this report.
Mullah Hamdullah Fitrat, Deputy Spokesperson Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, says that last year, the United Nations Assistance Mission in Afghanistan, or UNAMA, focused more on distorting the realities of Afghanistan, presenting a false image of Afghanistan to the world, and giving small incidents the appearance of major events.
Looking at UNAMA's activities in Afghanistan over the past year, it must be said that its mission was ineffective. Unfortunately, during the past year, the reports focused heavily on distorting the realities of Afghanistan and presenting a negative image of the country. They reacted slowly to many developments and portrayed the existing security and progress in Afghanistan negatively.
It is planned that the members of the United Nations Security Council will convene a meeting on a mission of UNAMA, which will end on March 17. Two proposals will be prepared at this meeting, one by South Korea and the USA, and the other one by China and Pakistan.
They were creating a type of concern among people, and sometimes during United Nations meetings, negative opinions about Afghanistan would spread. This was largely due to inaccurate reports and propaganda from UNAMA. The majority of these reports were based on unreliable and incorrect sources and information.
UNAMA has been operating in Afghanistan since 2002. And the mission aims to monitor human rights, supporting the peace process, provide humanitarian assistance, and assess political, economic, and social developments. In recent years, UNAMA reports have increasingly focused on human rights violations, restrictions of freedom of expression, the situation of women's rights, and the impact on the conditions for the recognition of Afghanistan's political system. These reports provide important information for international organizations, the media, and human rights activists, but the Afghan government considers some of them inaccurate propaganda and unbalanced.
Recently, it has been observed that UNAMA has failed to present accurate reports and the true picture of Afghanistan to the international community. They have not followed diplomatic principles in dealing with this issue and their interactions with officials. Our request is that UNAMA continue its efforts in Afghanistan and its mission to be extended. It should also help facilitate intra-Afghan negotiations to some extent on the global stage.
It's worth mentioning that Foreign Minister Maulavi Min Khan Muttaqi, referring to positive interactions and achievements of Islamic Emirate in the security, economic, educational, counter-narcotics, and regional and global countries, said that the reality is very different from what is portrayed by foreign media and expressed hope that foreign parties should see the reality with their own eyes instead of the image presented by the media.
Mullah Abdul Latif Mansour, the Minister of Energy and Water, met with several Turkish scholars and officials of the Adif Charity Foundation. In this meeting, the Minister of Energy and Water thanked the Charity Foundation for its services in carrying out religious schools and public welfare works in Afghanistan, referring to the religious and past relations between the two countries. At the same time, officials of the charity foundation have pledged to expand cooperation with Afghanistan. The Minister of Public Health says that they are committed to having separate infectious, internal and child, non-communicable and cancer hospitals in each province. Maulavi Nur Jalal Jalali, in a meeting to explain the newly established policy of the Ministry of Public Health, said that they want to increase health management departments in the districts to monitor the health sector. We have more in this report.
Maulavi Nur Jalal Jalali, the Minister of Public Health, who was speaking at the ceremony to introduce the new policy of the ministry, said that according to this policy, they are trying to provide health services in the entire country in a systematic and standardized manner and monitor these services.
We also want separate infectious disease and maternal and child hospitals in every district and province. Additionally, we aim to establish large specialized hospitals for non-communicable diseases and cancer, and to create a health center in every village.
Officials of the Islamic Emirates say that from now on, institutions and charity foundations will provide health services in Afghanistan based on this policy.
The Ministry of Public Health is essentially a service-oriented ministry, and all Afghan citizens, from the Prime Minister to ordinary individuals, need healthcare services. Anyone who wants to provide healthcare services within Afghanistan, whether local or foreign, must offer their services in accordance with the healthcare policy.
Meanwhile, Deputy Director of Health Development and Policy of the Ministry of Public Health says that this policy has been developed to meet the basic needs and achieve the goals of the country.
This policy is the result of joint collaboration between the Ministry of Public Health, Emirate and international organizations and the Technical Committee. It serves as a guideline in our country for improving healthcare services, treatment, medicines, food and medical products.
This comes at a time when the Minister of Public Health had previously said that he had started the construction of 318 hospitals at the district level at a cost of 7 billion Afghanis.
The Ministry of Justice says that the technical delegation of the Commission for the Prevention of Usurpation and the Return of Emirate Lands has returned more than 8,350 acres of Emirate land in Bamiyan province. Mufti Abdul Mateen Qani, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Interior Affairs, said that security forces have arrested a 6-member group of kidnappers in the area of Kabul's 7th Security District. Mr. Qani added that during the operation, 2 residents of Parwan's Surkhparsa district were also rescued from the clutches of kidnappers. The rescued individuals were kidnapped in Iran some time ago, and the ransom of $150,000 was demanded for their release. The Panjshir Department of Mines and Petroleum says that 2,300 carats of emeralds extracted from mines in the province have been sold to national traders for $49,200. According to the department, these emeralds were put up for auction in the presence of the Mining Supervisory Committee. The Ministry of Finance says that the General Directorate of Customs has built and commissioned a parking lot at the Haratan Customs Office at a cost of over 49 million Afghanis. The ministry adds that concrete has poured on 4.5 acres of land and gravel has been poured on 10 acres and 500 square meters of land, which has the capacity to park about 130 trucks at a time. And the final one is that the Ministry of Interior's Counter-Narcotics Deputy Directorate has seized 11,700 narcotic tablets in the 8th and 9th districts of Kabul city. The Deputy Directorate also announced the arrest of 2 people in this connection. After initial investigations, they will be referred to judicial authorities. That's all for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.
Dada baturanu kur, dada baturanu kur, dada baturanu kur, dada baturanu kur, sato I pasrovinu, dada shahidanu kur, dada